Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab with my church clothes on, doing what I do for you. But I got something nice for you today. Get your popcorn, get your comfortable seat. I'm going to take a little time to give you some good lessons and some few pages of information I'm going to go through. So let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message, message with a story for life. I'm giving you life lessons. Today we're using back to the book. All right, let's go. I appreciate you. The numbers are looking good. So let's do what we do. Rightism, 25 rules, right thinking, mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself, and I'm going everywhere I can to get you the information to do just that. You, as a right thinker, your goal should be to know thyself. So tune in, get the message, practice the lessons, and know thyself in the end. So I ask the question, do you know you? Excuse me, it's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. So, a person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and thinks that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to Maya, be true. We're going to continue on with the ancient Egyptian, on the ancient Egyptian path of enlightenment. This is the book we're in. It's all about the meditation, all about the mind, all about the consciousness. I got the thing break down now. The title is, we're going to start with internalized consciousness of a yoga practitioner, meaning you, if you're practicing yoga or right thinking philosophy. Most people are unaware of what? That there are deeper levels to their being. Again, not just the body. Just as they are unaware of the fact what? That physical reality is not physical. Quantum physics experiments have proven what? That the physical world is not composed of matter, but of energy. Tesla told you, you want to know some truth? Think energy, frequency, and vibration. Let's go. This supports what? The findings of our ancient sages who have what? Taught this philosophy for thousands of years. That what? That the reality in which is experienced by us, the human senses, five senses in the physical world, is not an absolute reality. Why? But a conditional one. You got the five senses. I can taste stuff, I can touch stuff, I can smell it, I can see it, and all that sends information to the brain, to the mind. So it only goes by the signals that's sent to it when you are not moving. We're going to get to that in a minute, but that's the concept, okay? Now, where we at? Therefore, you must strive to what? Raise raise beyond what? Your conditioned mind and senses to what? In order to perceive reality as it truly is. That means you have to open the third eye. You're never going to see him with this. Isis tell you, I have never been unveiled by mortal man. That means ordinary ignorant man himself will never get the ignorance out to see Isis. Isis has been seen when the veil of ignorance is removed. That's knowledge of self. Now, just as the sun is what? Revealed when the clouds disperse. Some cloudy days, the sun is out there, but you can't see it because the clouds is covering it. Okay, that's the concept they tell you. So the light of the self is revealed when what? The mind, like the sun, is free of what? Bad thoughts, negative imagination, ideas, and delusions. All are like the cloud, the mind, like the clouds block the sun conceptually. And no control over the emotions. You have sentimental attachments to worldly things, etc. So you are doing physical, monetary things, ignorance. And these are refractions of what? The light of the self. The ego self, when you're doing those things, now the light of your innermost consciousness, the self, your true identity is what? Is visible to what? The conscious mind, meaning the woke mind, the enlightened mind. How is this possible? This is the teachings and the goal of all meditation practices, is to get you to commune with your higher self. The next page, I'm going. It starts out with, you got schematics on these next pages. This one I'm doing here, you see what it says, the Ba, universal Ba, and it says something else comes on down, break it down for you, but that's how we broke it down here. And then the individual soul, and you got the astral world, the astral body, and the dua. That's all mental. That's all up here, not physical. Watch. Now you got the universal Ba. That's the soul. I know you got soul. Why? If you didn't, you wouldn't be here. Okay, soul is life. Then that's the universal soul. It gives life to everything. That's God. Okay. Then you have the individual soul. I got mine. You got yours. And with that soul comes what? A mind, a conscious, the higher self. That means the heart where God dwells, spirit-wise, with life, had to commune with what? The conscious self that he gave everybody their own brain, their own unique brain. Every brain is the same. Just how it operates and how you use it is different for every person. That's the uniqueness of it. Now you got the what? The mind and the senses. That's the mind body. That means the mind in control. It only gets information from the body. But you have the astral body along with what? The astral world. That's the spiritual, that's the mental world, aka the dua or the underworld. That's where the spirits dwell. That's the spiritual world. The next one is what? The physical body. The physical body, we're in the physical world. That's why we're spiritual beings in the physical body, having a human experience in time and space, aka the physical world. But when the body is at rest, when you're asleep, you go into the other realm mentally already. Why? The unconscious takes over, okay? And you go into what? Subconscious takes over. You go into the unconscious state. You're woke, meaning you're conscious. I'm going to break that down for you as we go. But let's start with just the physical body. When you are active and not practicing or experiencing what? The wisdom of yoga, right thinking philosophy, you are distracted from the real you. You're drifting. This distraction, which comes from the desires and the cravings and endless motions of what? Thoughts, where in the mind is the veil which blocks your perception. Ignorance is that's the veil. You being ignorant is the veil that blocks your perception of what? Your deeper essence of who you are, the self. Now, and you will come to believe what? That this world you're in is real. That's where the problem lies. When your body, again, when it's motionless, you are what? Thinking and feeling. That means it's all mental. You are mostly associated with what? The mind, okay, psychologically. At times, watch this, when you are not thinking, such as when in a dreamless sleep state, that's the unconscious state that we go into when you go into that good sleep. And I'm going to explain that to you as we go what that's about. And then what? You are associated with what? Your higher self. There you go. However, there's always a however. The connection that you make in the dreamless state is veiled, again, right? This is by what? By ignorance. What did you, wait a minute. Because you are asleep. And you're not aware of the experience that you have in the mental state. Why? You are unconscious and you're not in the state of what? Consciousness. So you're not aware of it. It's there. And watch what happens. During this time, what happens? You do, however, experience profound peace and rest. I tell you, you practice it for death. What you have is there, that's what death is going to be for you. So get comfortable with it. Why? You spend 1/3 of your life in that state anyway. Why? Because the body needs to rest. 1/3, 8 hours of the 24 hours you should spend resting. Some of us need less. As you get older, you get better, but you get the body regulated to it. Some people work on 4 hours sleep. Some work on 5. I'm a 5-hour man. So understand that. Knowing what you need to be able to function with that hour of sleep. Simple. But when you go into that state, that unconscious, man, you don't know from nothing. But you feel good when you wake up. Okay, that's you've been born again. You just died. You just came back to life symbolically. But watch this. Now, this is possible. Why? Because you are turning away what? From no ego personality, the I, the me. You raise your conscious level, just don't know it. And what happens? Your individual self and you are going into what? That realm of the inner self. Alright. Holy, they call it, because nobody can go in there but you. In essence, what? You are moving closer to that which is what? Universal, and you're turning away from that which what? Is limited, the ego. The ego self has limits, okay? The universal, unlimited. Like my man Infoducey, think unlimited, think unlimited. I love that. Now, in order to discover this realm of unconsciousness and peace and contentment consciously, what happened? To discover this realm, you must consciously turn away from the what? The phenomenal world. Things and objects and people. The world of your, you ready? Ego. And its problems. Because the ego will have problems. Fetters. I got something coming for that too. The fettered mind. The ego mind is fettered. Watch this. But, and its problems and concerns and worries and anxieties. That's the ego self. Agitated, worried about everything, can't get peace of mind. Why? Which is a distraction from what? The inner reality. You never find peace of mind if you're agitated and full of anxieties and problems. Self-inflicted ones mainly. The practice of right thinking, yoga, accomplishes what? This task. Again, through what? Meditation. Daily meditation. When backed up by what? Daily practice of right thinking philosophy is what? You ready? The most powerful agent of what? Self-discovery. To know thyself. I'm giving you the best opportunity, taking you on the best road for you to self-discover, aka know thyself. Why? Because the daily practice of meditation will allow you to develop a what? Higher awareness, which will what? Affect all aspects of your personal character and enhance your personal life by doing just that. But most importantly, watch this. It gives you what? The aspirant, the right thinker, experiential knowledge of your true self. Once you start recognizing who you are, now you're good to go on your own. Not what somebody said, not what somebody wrote in the book. No, what you experience. Experience is the best teacher. I think I'm a good teacher, but experience got me beat hands down. Trust me on that one. I try to get you to have the experience. I'm trying to teach you to have the experience. I ain't trying to be the experience for you. Understand that. Moving on. Next page. Look at this schematic. It gets fun. Remember the circle and the dot? Okay. This is the concept. The self is the dot. The unconscious state of mind is where you're going to go when you go into that deep sleep realm. The subconscious is what takes on and runs the body when you go to sleep. So it don't do nothing but keep the body functioning and making everything work. And then you got the conscious, which is the waking state, which is what we live in time and space. And we govern that by what? The senses of the body. Okay, the five senses that send information to the mind. The mind is in darkness. It only goes by what the body sends it information. Again, let's go. Above, I just showed you a two-dimensional schematic drawing of what? The human mind, conceptually, and its relationship to what? The self or the soul. The soul, aka the transcendental self, it don't make a difference. The higher self, they still work together. The Ba and the Ka, they're reflections of each other. Sometimes they get them confused and say the same thing. They're not. Okay, watch this. Most people look at what? Their body, their thoughts, and their feelings, and they say what? This is me. Somewhat, but not totally. In reality, a human being is what? In reality, a complex organism composed of conscious mind, a subconscious mind, and an unconscious mind. The conscious mind is the waking state. The subconscious mind is when you start going to that early dream state, it still functions the body. You still know how to get up, go to the bathroom. If it's a subconscious state, I gotta go to the bathroom, you get up, go to the bathroom. If you're a bedwetter, some of that kind, why? You're ignoring the subconscious and you thinking you can just go instead of getting up. So another thing you can learn again. But you have the subconscious that runs the body. The conscious state is the waking state and it's governed by the senses of the body. That's why when you go to sleep, that part dissipates. It's gone. Now, the conscious mind, guess what? It slides out the way too. The subconscious is there and it starts out. And when you go into that deep realm, the deep sleep, that's the unconscious state. And you don't know it. Why? Because you're not aware of it. Watch this. So, where we at? All these consciousness. And these forms what? These form what? Your personality or the person you have come to know as what? You, yourself, with your particular tastes, family, associations, religious, and social affiliations, etc. Underlying all of this is what? The universal consciousness, which is the all, which is what? Like an ocean. We keep using the noon, the ocean, same concept. We're part of that. We're part of the whole thing, but we're just an individual of the whole thing. And watch this. On the surface of this ocean, the external part, I call it the top part, everybody knows the basic knowledge. The personality is supporting it as what? The ocean of consciousness. You have a knowledge of self. Again, the self. Your goal is to gain that knowledge. The project of spiritual life and daily meditation practice is to what? To go deep where? Into this ocean, aka the self, and by controlling the mind and connecting with the heart mind coherence, the mind with its thoughts, desires, etc., surface through what? The various practices of what? Right thinking philosophy, aka yoga, daily. Self-mastery is a task that you take on, and it may take years, maybe a lifetime, but you practice it daily. Next page, watch this. This is a good one, good breakdown. This is the universal soul, and understanding that it is the source of what? All individual souls. Every individual soul comes from the what? Universal soul. Everything comes from. You see, the top it says the self. Okay, the supreme self. Okay. That's who we are in essence, mentally, spiritually, conceptually. The supreme self is spirit and conscious together makes what? The universal soul, meaning it gives life to nature. God is visible through what? His manifest states, his emanations. Okay, so we got four things here. You got the individual soul, you got another individual soul, another individual soul. We got four individual souls. Let's talk about it. The distraction of the soul in the world of human experience leads to what? Mental impressions, which are based on what? External reality. That means outside, physical reality, and on ignorance of what? The truth, which is what? The higher soul reality. The last part I showed you, that's the highest part. And these impressions lead the mind to what? Experience desires of the flesh, thoughts that's negative, and aspirations which lead a human being to what? Experience what? More desires, because once you start trying to fulfill those desires, it will never stop. It's insatiable. You can't satisfy it. So desires is what makes us suffer. When you learn how not to desire, like to say, but how I got desire not to desire, yeah, so to speak, but not desiring is not wanting for material things, not wanting for relationships, because to make you better, you got to have somebody. Those are things that you really don't need, but if you choose them, that's yours, but those are desires. And the more they become what? They become distractions. Desires born of what? You ready? Desires born of ignorance cannot be satisfied. Did we just hear that? Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get that point across. Through what? Through the mind and the senses. Why? Because these are, like I said, limited, and the experience are what? Fleeting, meaning not going to last. That brand new car ain't brand new once you pull out the lot. That new relationship you get into is headed on the way down once you say, I do. All those things you don't want to get attached to. Why? Because they're fleeting. Understand them for what they are. That's all. No matter how long they last during a person's life, they are what? Only transient experiences, and what? Never really fulfilling. Happiness cannot come from things, objects, people, places, or things. It don't. Internal. It's inside. It's what you do to make you happy. It ain't things. A lot of us believe it's things. A lot of us get caught up in ignorance, thinking if I get that, I'll be happy. Yeah, you'll be temporarily happy. Why? Because you satisfy what? The desire. Okay? Now, since the desires of the mind comes from what? The senses of the body, based on what? Ignorance can never did that. Sorry about that. Okay, wait a minute. That's another one. Since the desire of the mind, based on ignorance, can never be fulfilled, what happens? The soul is now led to experience what? Repeated situations of what? Frustration and mental unrest, agitation, and move further away. They move further away from what? The inner peace of the self within. Again, the happiness is that if you're looking for stuff outside you, you're never going to find it. If you think God is outside you, you're never going to find him. And religion put God outside of man. Another lesson, but that's my concept. Moving on. But watch this. You, the individual, your individual soul, what? The individual soul of every human being is in reality what? Seeking to do what? Discover its wholeness and peace of its true nature, the universal soul within. We call it reaching nihas, spiritual enlightenment. What? Coming to grips and knowing who you are. That's an important thing as humans while here in the flesh. Not a whole bunch of other stuff. However, look at my word, the ignorant search what? To fulfill those desires of what? The mind led by its what? Countless situations in the realm of what? The human physical body experiences, which in turn leads to what? More in its endless cycle, which continues what? Even after death, and causes the soul to what? Return to human form again and again, aka reincarnating in what? Its futile, ignorant effort to satisfy what? Its desires of the flesh based on its own ignorance. So you are the perpetrator of your own things. Fetters. These teachings, watch this, these teachings of the cycle of birth and death, which what? The individual soul experiences are known as what? As doctrine of what? You ready? Karma and reincarnation. Why? You reap what you sow. If you put bad out, you're going to get bad in return. And if you're not doing the things you need to do to know yourself, you're not going to reach it, and you're going to end up reincarnating. This is just a concept that we live by, that our concept that we can help you in this life to do better. Why? You need something to make you, motivate you to do something, and knowing that you got to get to the afterlife should be enough kick in the butt to get you started. But a few reincarnations should do the trick too. A few million. Let's go. That's what they say. Now, on this page, let me break the self down for you again. Oh, this is even a good one. Watch this. See, we got the self in the middle again. Now the self is divided by what? That veil of what? Ignorance. Led by what? Desires. And the desires come from what? Thoughts. It all starts with a thought. And if you activate that thought, it becomes a desire, and that means you're going to want to do it. Now you have a problem. Why? Because you're going to ignorantly follow those desires, not knowing what you're doing to what? After you do it, doing what? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Monday morning quarterbacking, I can tell you, they haven't won a game yet. And everybody who falls victim of the ignorant, doing ignorant things, they fall victim of the consequences of that action. Karma don't care, but you didn't know. I thought, don't care. Let's talk about this right quick. It's a two-dimensional schematic drawing of what? Human existence. Now, the self assumes what? The role of every individual soul. And through what? The veil of ignorance experiences what? Desires and thoughts and life as what? An individual being. It don't know itself. It don't know who it is. Real quick. A lot of that going on. Okay? Ignorance of self. I'm trying to get it on in. I got another page or two, I think. And another couple. Alright, but it's quick. Now, this one right here. You see the dot at the top? That's the end goal. Okay, that's the end game. You see all the other arrows pointing up to the top? I'm start from the bottom and work my way up. You see the waking state? That's the lowest level. Okay? The next thing you see what? The astral body. Then you see the casual body. Let's talk about it right quick. Alright? This is the transcendental self. The higher self. The transcendent mind and all body. Let's talk about it. Start at the top, the dot. You have the casual body, you have the astral body. Then you got the physical, aka the waking state. And when it's egoism, you have what? Desires, anger, hatred, greed, jealousy. All these things is and envy. These are all qualities of what? Self. Egoistic person. That's the qualities that make you like self. Okay? The opposite. You got body consciousness. You got the physical body. Moving on. This is what it says. The soul is a prisoner of what? Its own ignorance. Ignorance makes you a slave. Okay? A prisoner of yourself. In this condition, it is, you ready? Fettered. That's my word. With what? The chains of ignorance to an existence where what? It has no control over its fate in life. It's going to put on the tubes. The purpose of each virtue is what? To remove one's fetters. Righteousness and virtuous action takes away the fetters. Doing the right thing for the right reason. I can try to explain that to you. Let me get to the next page. I see the clock is running, so I got to put up the pace a little bit. Alright. This one here tells you about the fetters. I'm about to break it down for you right quick. Hope you can see it. Hope you get it. Let me see the picture of it. I ain't got no blue screens. I got to do the best I could with what I got. Let's go. Now, this is called the supreme self. And spirit. Dun 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 dun. That means you have a fettered mind. What does a fettered mind have? It's full of ignorance, it's delusional, and this is caused by, you ready? Egoism. You have sexual or physical desires, and when they're not met, you become angry. And when people are doing something you don't like, you show hatred. And when it's something that you like, you are greedy. You can't never get enough of it, and you are jealous. Those are all Satanian qualities again. Now, the fettered mind clouds the mind, and the higher vision is not visible. You can't see the forest for the trees, so to speak. And your intellect is what? Dull. So reason fails. No, you can't reason with these kind of people. And delusion, mental weakness, and the emotional control mind is the control mind, and it prevents a person from what? Seeing beyond their meager individual mortal existence. The I, the me, aka the ego self. This mind is a fog of thoughts and feelings which what? Block the vision of your higher self. That's why the problem. When you do that, and the last two I'm about to wrap it up, I'll see where I'm at. But the spirit and the self, again, a purified mind. And it knows nothing to show, but it's a bracket right there. But run it down for you right quick. And at the end, you see a guy sitting in the lotus position. I'll break that down for you. That'll be the end. Let me get to it for you right quick. Now, the supreme self, the spirit, a purified mind is what? A mind with contentment, a mind with detachment. You have peace and fortitude, integrity, you have rightness, and you have wisdom from your experience of what? Living and doing the right thing daily. Now, through the practice of mystical spirituality, the mind is now purified. So what? The mental calm is possible. Through this calm, spiritual sensitivity grows, and your higher self is now discovered in much the same way as what? As a pair of glasses on top of your head, and you realize, wow, they was there the whole time. But the mental distraction and agitation, what? It blocked the perception of their presence, and the mind became a thin mist through which any enlightened human being would now be seeing the spirit in all things. I don't step on ants. I don't harm stuff like that. Why? I see the nature. I see God in all things. Conceptually, that's what they mean. Let's talk now about the end game. Supreme self, spirit, and the cosmic mind. The object of all right thinking philosophy, yoga, disciplines is to purify the mind so that what? It can achieve its transcendental vision through what? Daily meditation. And this objectivity of meditation is to what? The purpose of meditation is to unite you, the individual mind, with what? The cosmic mind, aka God, the mortal self with what? The eternal self, the individual with what? The universal, becoming one with God. And my man sitting there in the individual ego mind will have to what? Acquiesce and do whatever you tell it to do. It's under your servitude now. It's not running you. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I like giving it to you. And right things in all closings, may you already be 100. And me 100 minus a day. So I never knew that right thing. Like you, it passed away. I'll be back. I still got more.